The so-called conspiracy theorists have been proven right about Sadiq Khan's plans to turn London into a fully controlled city. Yes, despite all the denials from the City Hall, the Mayor of London is launching his plans for the pay-per-mile road charges. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the channel that challenges the mainstream media and the political establishment, from the left-wing nutters to the globalist elite. So, we have so much to talk to you guys about today. Throughout the day, we're going to have a number of updates every half an hour. First, we're going to talk about all these theories we had, and they were all denied because we were tinfoil hat crazy people, right? Well, Sadiq Khan is now doing what we said he was going to do. And the pay-per-mile scheme, which we're going to get into in a second. Don't forget, we have our 300,000 subscribers party next Sunday, the 23rd of July. The link is in the description if you want to come and join us. I'll give you more information at the end of the video. But first, let's talk about this man, this little mini mayor, Sadiq Khan, who's single-handedly completely destroying the city. And of course, his policies are now spreading around the country like a virus. We have local authorities copying what Sadiq Khan is doing in London on various taxes and schemes. So they kept coming out to deny all these theories that we had, saying Sadiq Khan says he's not introducing pay-per-mile scheme. No, all he wants is just ULEZ, the ultra-low emission zones, and that's where he's going to stop. Now, for those who don't know, the pay-per-mile road charges, essentially, that is, it's not really like congestion charge, where if you go to central London, you have to pay, I don't know how much it is now, £8, £10, I think it's gone up. But it's about a very specific control-freaky scheme where the authorities, when you're on your car, they will check how many people are on your car, what sort of car you're driving, what time of the day you're driving, how far you're driving, where you're driving to. Every single aspect of your life will be controlled with all these camera surveillance and everything else. And then you have to pay extra taxes and you have restrictions on where to go. And when we talked about this, the City Hall responded to us saying, no, these were just some random ideas coming out and we haven't really confirmed anything. Well, now Sadiq Khan draws up plans to charge all motorists with a pay-per-mile scheme on London's roads, with drivers charge more for having older vehicles. So the reason I said this is going to happen at the time was because ULEZ is not sustainable. We know that. So the whole point of the ULEZ tax is if you have an older car, unless you change your car, you have to pay taxes. So even if hypothetically everybody in London, Greater London, obeys and change their car, that means Sadiq Khan can't make any more money because everybody's already changed their car, even if everybody does that, which means they knew that ULEZ is not really the end goal. The end goal was always going to be more taxes and more control. And this was just a practice run with all the cameras around. And when we said that, everyone said, no, you're just a crazy nutter. So they're not laughing now, are they? So we had Transport Minister Richard Holden in the House of Commons earlier as well, confirming that Sadiq Khan has now instructed the TfL, Transport for London officials, to quietly prepare these plans.
I'd like to thank my honourable friend for his question. I met the acting CFO and Seb Dancy, Deputy Mayor of Transport for London, Deputy Mayor for Transport yesterday. They informed me that the Mayor of London, in anticipation of falling revenues from ULEZ in the future, in the next few years, had asked them to investigate the technicalities of introducing road charging across London in the future.
Final question.
Yeah, we knew that. The revenue, so-called revenue from ULEZ, was never going to last that long, even right now. The current ULEZ scheme, which only covers mostly central London, the revenue is falling. That's why he decided to expand it to the whole of Greater London, and it's basically outside of London. And even that was not good enough for Sadiq Khan. But these sort of policies is not really just about London. They are spreading around like a virus, as I said earlier. And the Mail has this great graphic, which we're going to go through quickly. This is basically all the other cities. So even if you're not from London, you should be concerned about these road charges and taxes and everything else. So London, obviously, they introduced the ULEZ in 2019. And that was obviously the initial idea. But then now they're expanding it. Oxford, we talked about Oxfordshire Council a lot in February 2022. The pilot for these sort of similar schemes were launched £10 a day for drivers on all cars, by the way, all cars. In Bath, they introduced and enforced a similar scheme in March 2021, emission tax type CAZC. And again, this was completely crazy, but they did say the cost to car drivers was zero, but then obviously taxes will go somewhere else. Bradford in 2022, similar scheme. Then you had also in Sheffield 2023, you have Birmingham, who has their own version. Again, in 2021, they decided to start enforcing the trial and then make it permanent, £8 a day for car drivers. Portsmouth, similar thing in 2021. You have various places trying this. Again, Glasgow has been completely chaotic. And again, we've talked about Glasgow a lot as well in this channel. It's nothing to do with air pollution, because we've seen before they introduced it in Glasgow, air was clean. When they introduce these sort of schemes, that also includes low traffic neighborhoods and everything else like that, you actually create more traffic and more air pollution in different places. So Glasgow is now becoming dirty, the air in Glasgow, because of the scheme. It's complete craziness. And now we have some MPs in the House of Commons kicking off, and some candidates are talking about this. We've got the latest Tory candidate who's standing in the upcoming by-election, Steve Tocqueville, saying Sadiq Khan's plans to charge every single driver in Hillingdon with road user charging prove once again that he just ignores outer London. If he gets his way, nobody will be safe from his war on motorists. There are already reports of Labour MPs starting to panic, so people know that if Labour doesn't get the big win that the bookies predict, then they will put pressure on Sadiq Khan to scrap his plans. People here in Oxbridge know that there is only one way to make the mayor listen to outer London. That's with a vote to stop ULEZ on the 20th of July. Yeah, you say that, but the Tory policy is not to scrap ULEZ. The Tory policy is to scrap ULEZ expansion. So don't let them fool you with this, with all these nice words. Sadiq Khan has now been accused of failing to support working class Londoners, as figures reveal that just 1%, only 1% of non-ULEZ compliant vehicles have been approved for his scrappage scheme. So he said, oh, I'm going to support people in London, and we're going to give you some money if you want to change your car, but only 1% are entitled to that. Again, governmental support is London government, essentially. The governance in London is completely chaotic. They're using taxpayers' money to then give some money to taxpayers to take their money and tax the taxpayers. Again, it's just a cycle of tyranny. It's completely chaotic. We're going to keep you guys posted on this, but don't forget, as I said earlier, more importantly, next Sunday, 23rd of July, we have our 300,000 subscribers party. We have some special guests as well. We're going to have a Q&A. I'm going to make a speech. We're going to have a few drinks. I did say yesterday we're going to get drunk. Some people were like, didn't like it. I'm a heavyweight. Don't worry. I'm not going to get that drunk. Yeah, right. But we're going to have the former producer of the channel and Talk TV's Lacey Butcher also hosting us, as well as Talk TV's Andrew Walker. There will be a few others as well. It's going to be a great night if you can make it next Sunday, 23rd of July. The link is in the description. I'm Mahyar Tousi, and we are the media.